This is an alternate history video. The only reason why I made it is because I've been watching Possible History Hub. Alternate History Hub. I think a little bit of Tiger Star, if that's their name on YouTube. I could be wrong. I'm really sorry if I am, and everything. So none of this actually happened. I tried to do some research on it to kind of make a possibility. And other than that, I hope you liked the video. I was just bored and I wanted to have fun making it. So I've decided to go with what if Germany won World War II? Well, / the Axis. Now the reason for this is because I literally watched a video of it like 30 seconds ago from Alternate History Hub, I think. I'm going to go with that. I think that's who I watched it from. And that I was bored, so I've decided to go with this. This is a map that we're working with. Not really. I'm going to make a better one. 30 seconds. So, welcome back after my 30 seconds. This actually took like 5 to 10 minutes. This would be a more realistic map. I'll go into more detail and stuff like that, starting with Italy. Let's start with Italy because it looks like they lost ground and gained ground. As you can see, I don't think you can zoom in on this. Okay, well, whatever. They did lose ground and gain ground. Italy's not in a good place in this timeline, honestly. At all. And honestly, I have to feel bad for them. There's nothing else I can say, really, about that. So let's start with a big thing. Sicily is owned by Britain. Everything in orange is in Britain's sphere of influence for the simplicity, but otherwise, in this alt history, not like other alt history videos where Britain's occupied and subjugated, more likely they would have continued fighting and would have just tried to starve Europe. It's Britain. I'm not surprised about that. And they have air dominance over the English Channel. They did attempt a D-Day, but it failed. I'm going to go with that timeline. And the US never intervened. But otherwise, Britain just occupied every island in the Mediterranean. They have complete naval superiority. The Axis and Italy have no navies, because whenever they start building a navy, Britain will come and blow it up, even though they're at a peace treaty right now. So that's that timeline, and yeah. Oh, and everything in light green is in Italy's sphere of influence, or at least in their head it is. Now we move on to the Soviet Union.
The Soviet Union was crippled by Germany. At this point, Finland is holding Leningrad, and Germany is miles from Moscow. The siege of Stalingrad has ended in Soviet victory and the rout of the German army, allowing a stalemate to occur on the Soviet lines. As of now, the Soviets and the Germans have signed an uneasy peace. And now it's Britain's turn. Around the 1950s, Britain, Germany, and Japan signed a peace. At this point, everything in orange, Britain has taken over. Right now, America is hibernating. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
So, I must thank Gabby for randomly coming in and interrupting my video and stealing 3 countries from the description. But honestly, yeah, she did a pretty good job. This is alternate history, so you can make your own decisions in my map. But this is the most likely way. So the bigger thing is, Japan either won the Pacific War or only attacked the Philippines, and America didn't do anything about it. And they just stayed isolationist for the whole war. So that's them here. They fought a small war with Britain until peace was signed around 1950s-ish in this timeline. And I think if I was to say who would enter the Cold War, it'd be a 3-way between Britain, Japan, and Germany. and that Japan would be the first ones with nukes, because I'm pretty sure they have the farthest along nuclear program. So this world is dominated by Japan. Wasn't really my intention. I try to give Germany the highest chance to get a favorable semi-win. But in that, I've given Japan an invincible empire. So I think that's a great part to end this video. This alternate history video. And I'll make another one if you guys like it. I had fun making it. Editing wasn't too bad. But otherwise, this is Clawwave signing off. Yes, I stole that from Alternate History Hub that I've been watching, and that's the reason why I decided to make this video. Okay, this is the weirdest outro ever, and now if it just stops randomly, why am I still rambling on? I don't know how I end a video at all, do I? Well, this is originally where I was going to end the video. But I thought that was boring for me to end the video here. So let's go into more detail. Starting with world leaders at this time in this alt history video. Let's start with Germany, because you're probably all curious. This is a very confusing alt history video, that's all I'm going to say. After the failure of Stalingrad, Austrian Painter was overthrown by a coup to place Rommel in charge in this timeline, in this alt history timeline. But that coup also was counter-couped by generals on the Eastern Front, one of them being Manstein. So currently, Manstein is the current leader of Germany. So you're probably wondering who's in charge of the USSR. Well, I'm going to be really disappointed if you're at all confused and would be surprised at this image. Are you at all surprised? Of course, he still holds power. There's no doubt that he would continue holding power, no matter the amount of ground he lost. Everyone feared him. Now we move to Britain. This one I wasn't really sure with, so it's really between on if Winston Churchill won the election of whatever date this is and get re-elected to lead the colonial empire, which now they're kind of forced to keep a hold of, or they lose all power in the world. So yeah, there's a high chance that he would, but there's also a chance that the Labour Party, which I think was the historical party that won the election, would also then come to power. It's really a 50-50 between the two, so it's up to you guys to decide. So with Italy, even though they won the war, this is my alt history video, so I really can decide on anything, but they also lost a ton of ground. So I'm almost willing enough to say Victor Emlo III would take control and Benito would just be like a famous icon at most and retire. I'm sorry, Benito, but that's the best situation I can give you. So with Japan, in this timeline, this alt history timeline, they'd more likely just go back to a democracy. Now, I'm between a few people who would win the first election in Japan after peace and everything. I think I'm more confident to say Admiral Yamamoto, can't say the middle name, don't know how, would probably win if he did a political career, because he did defeat the British Navy in this timeline instead of masterminding Pearl Harbor. Sorry, America, you lost the Philippines for free, you just gave it up for some reason, I don't know why, not going to question it. But yeah, he'd be my choice on who would win an election with Japan victory. And Japan's last leader, I can't think of their name, would just probably retire after 5 or 6 years being a dictator. Now, this is where I'm going to end it. There's a few things that I could say, like America might have gone into a civil war because they didn't intervene in this timeline, but more likely they'd be fine. They'd just continue with the land lease program, and the Mirol doctrine, and some rando who I have no idea that doesn't want war and anti-war no matter what would go against it and just give up on the Philippines somehow. I don't know how he won, but he did. Maybe he cheated the election. Maybe Henry Long, Theodore Roosevelt, FDR, Henry Long, whoever was the Republican candidates, and all of that was split between 5 or 6 people, and some rando who just said ignore World War I, II, or whatever, and very pacifist and everything would rise to power. So the election's very split in America, and they just become peaceful and do fucking nothing. Excuse my language, I'm sorry. With that, and then Afghanistan and Iran probably would be invaded by the Soviets to secure supply lines from Britain. Yes, Britain would be the one who would be supplying most all the weapons to the Soviet Union. That's why it comes to more of a white peace. And the borders more come to unify. Now, in a Cold War, who would be the first in a Cold War to receive, let's say, nuclear bombs or something? Would it be Britain, the Soviets, or Germany? Most people would say Germany, but their nuclear program didn't really start towards the end of the war, so I'm on the urge to say Japan would be the first one in the Cold War to receive nuclear bombs. Now that sounds ridiculous, but not really, because they I think their nuclear program started way before America's. I think. I could be wrong about this. But they didn't have as much. So in a Cold War, it just end with probably the Soviet Union actually staying together and Germany being the one who collapses. Yeah, Germany's the one that loses Cold War, and Britain and Japan would probably go back to friendly relations, and Japan might even hand Singapore back. That's not a joke. I really think Japan might just hand Singapore back, because Japan and Britain had friendly relations until they invaded China, so relations might just normalize between them. And really, the Soviet Union is the oddball. They might get their territory back, or they might collapse. It really depends who succeeds after Stalin. Or if Stalin even dies and he picks the one who succeeds. Well, I guess he would be purging more Germans and stuff, so there's a high chance that Stalin retires in this timeline. As a hero. Yeah, whatever on that. I'm going to end the video here because this has been very confusing, and I'm proud of this alt history. If you want to see another one, then my next one will be World War I. What if Austria-Hungary wins World War I? Because why not? I can't change that much. I can't go back in history. I have to be within the date. So I have to be feasible. And that's going to be hard. So somehow I have to make Germany lose. Good luck, Germany. And Austria-Hungary win without Germany's help. Oh, great. That's going to be painful. Well, whatever. If you want to see another one, I had fun making this video. I just wanted to make an alt history video because I've been watching Possible History, Ultimate History Hub, and a bunch of others. They're a lot bigger channels, but I'm still going to say check them out if you like this video. Then again, you might have clicked on this video because you saw this video off of one of their videos, or in your recommended feed because you've been watching their videos. This has been a very long intro, and I need to end this before this is 4 minutes long of me rambling. Wow. Okay.